Hi guys, Aaron here and welcome to my new workshop. But before I share any details, there's still a long way to go until this is finished. So I would just like to show you my Zwift setup, my new Zwift setup, which is now complete. And I think it's a bit different than what other people are doing with theirs, so I just wanted to share. I think there are some cool ideas and parts in it. So let me start with the core of the system, which is my old gaming computer from my old teenager gaming years, and it is a really strong one, and it's what I've been always using for Zwift. It runs even at HD or 4K, it runs it in the highest quality with good frame rates, so that's nice. But this is the computer that I also have for daily use and for my work in my kind of office space in here. So now comes the question, what to do, because I want to use this computer for both and I didn't really want to invest in getting a new one or a separate laptop or something like this. So what I decided to do is to split up the whole setup into two different parts of the room, as you can see here, and the way I've done that is using, well, a regular 10-meter HDMI cable and two 10-meter USB cables with signal amplifiers in them. Why are these important? Well, in order for Zwift to work, you need N+ data from power, cadence, etc., heart rate as inputs, but these sensors work the best when the transmitter is close to the bike and your heart rate strap, etc. So a 10-meter cable puts that transmitter very close to the bike. I'll show you exactly where. And the same thing applies to my wireless keyboard and mouse, which I operate there on Zwift setup. As you can see, I have one more wireless keyboard and mouse for use with the computer, and another one here on the desk. Now these are both connected in parallel to the computer and they can be switched off. That's an important part of this, because otherwise it may not work properly. So it's important that both are switchable. The screens, well, this is a 4K Samsung Smart TV. It's not one of the newest ones, but a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago, it was really high end. As you can see, it has the curved panel. Really quite nice. My father bought it and he's not using it, so I put it in this room for the setup. And this is connected via HDMI. It also gets the sound through HDMI and of course the image. Then here, as you can see, I use this cable guide for the floor, which is glued on with double-sided tape. Cables run back there, and here are the actual transmitters for N+ and for the keyboard and mouse setup. So this is quite an important aspect. As I said, a cable of this length, when it's USB, also needs to have this, well, it's an active cable, so it's a signal strengthener here. And I had a couple of rides on this setup, works flawlessly. Then some items have been carried over from my previous setup, so Wahoo Kicker 18, no new kicker has been released this year, so this one stays. Also the headwind fan, one of my favorites. What I didn't have previously is the Wahoo desk, which is, I'm going to be honest, it's not a budget-friendly option, but I wanted to try it out because also I'm a Wahoo dealer, so I need to know what I'm selling. And it's really damn good, actually. The shaping is nicely done, so even though you're in the riding position, you can still reach easily. it integrates neatly with the fan, so you can still adjust the fan into an effective position when you're on the bike. It has all these slots, so you can this acts basically as a tablet or a phone stand, which is also very nice. The top is nice and grippy, so nothing will fall off, and the height can be adjusted. With my position, it's in the lowest height setting possible, but if you push these blue buttons on both sides at the same time, I can't do this while filming, unfortunately, then you can just adjust it in many steps. You can also use this as a standing desk outside of while Zwifting. It has some really nice wheels on there, roller skates wheels, so you can move it around easily. It's quite light as well, so, and also very nicely finished. Really nice product all around, but you would expect that given the price. I also have a long 2-meter USB cable to charge my phone while I'm riding, sometimes comes in handy. And I also got the kicker mat, or yeah, it's a floor mat basically, but not just a regular one. It's sort of rubberized, it's quite stiff, but the feet of the kicker dig into it, so there's really a huge amount of grip. So with this it doesn't really move around at all. And this one actually isn't that expensive either. It's also doesn't soak up the sweat because it has kind of a closed cell design, which is also very nice, easy to clean. One drawback I find that, as you can see, I was running this wheel outside and it leaves the dirt marks on there. It's pretty visible, but then again, yeah, as I said, it can be just wiped down with water. One thing I was thinking about when doing this is, do you actually need, I think this is a 60-inch TV or so, do you actually need a screen this big for Zwifting? Well, obviously no, you don't need it. Why I like it, the reason I like it is that now I don't run Zwift full screen anymore. I have it in this little corner, and lately I've also completely changed my training as well compared to previous years, but more on that in a separate video. So the point is that this winter I'm not going to be doing any real intervals on Zwift indoors, just zone 2 endurance rides, and these can be quite boring even outside, not to mention inside. So what I will have is just running Zwift there in a kind of a smaller screen, and the rest I can do or I can use for watching YouTube videos or Netflix or something else. I might say browsing internet, but that's not really comfortable while riding. So anyway, it's much more entertaining this way. The time passes more quickly, which when indoors it's always a good thing. One caveat that this setup has, as you can see currently, it's my road bike on there. Normally I would prefer to have my time trial bike on the trainer, but as you know, I'm in the process of changing that, and the old one I've already sold. The new one hasn't arrived yet, and I really have no idea when will it come, so that's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. The weather is pretty damn terrible at the moment anyway, so I'll be staying indoors on Zwift and newly also in the gym. Then one detail that comes in quite handy is the fact that this extension power cord is switchable, which is useful for me because even if you shut off the complete Zwift setup, the kicker trainer still keeps on, and this can draw some electricity that you don't want. So what I've done previously is I've always disconnected the power cord to just keep it from being standby, and now I can just turn off the whole system with one switch. Okay, so this is my new Zwift setup, or Zwift station as some people call it. People have been asking if I got to one of these new kicker bikes or something. No, I don't really find those interesting or useful. So this is what I have right now. I hope you have benefited from some of this information. If yes, and you want to know more about other things that I use for my training and racing, then don't forget to tune into the channel and subscribe. It's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.